Hi everyone, my name is Wang Wen from the University of Malaya. My research is about cognitive narrative study of identity construction in cross-cultural literature from the perspective of cognitive schema theory. For my study, it's about exploring how individual identity is constructed and transformed in contemporary cross-cultural literature through the lens of schema theory. Traditional, sociological, and post-colonial approaches of overlooked cognitive processes shape how identity is perceived and expressed. By applying cognitive schema theory, I examine how literature characters' activity clash with and reconstructed cultural, linguistic, and psychological schemas during multicultural encounters. This framework helps us understanding how identities are continuously negotiated and reshaped. So for the research question, it's about how do literary characters active conflict with and reconstruct identity schema in cross-cultural context. How does schema theory explain the cognitive mechanism of culture, linguistic, and psychological identity in both the character and reader? How does contemporary cross-cultural literature expand and refine traditional frameworks of identity study? For method, I use the three bags text. Steppenwolf outside to the lighthouse. I use the analytical methods about textual analysis, cognitive narrative, and thematic analysis. For the analysis, I get the 4 points about this. The negotiation and integration of self-schema about the Steppenwolf, and so societal schemas impact on individual cognition in the outside, and schema construction in string of consciousness to the lighthouse. In the space as cognitive and cultural integration field, all three work presents a unique field of negotiation, the space. So for the conclusion, this study concludes the identity in cross-cultural text is not a fixed label, but a dynamic process constructed during cultural encounter and self-experiences. Through innovative narrow patterns, the text establishes open third space between the reader and the character, transforming the reader from the passive spectator into co-constructor of many scholarly contribution by integrating schema theory and cognitive narratology. This study offers a more comprehensive path to the understanding identity construction, compensating for the limitation of traditional research that often overemphasize social structure while neglecting the individual psychological active. Practical implication, the findings are all relevant to the in literary education, cross-cultural communication training, and psychological counseling. For the limitation and future research, so for the limitation, maybe I use all about primarily the qualitative looking quantitative tools. So for the future direction, expand the analysis to include non-Western and digital literary works and comparative psychological quantitative methods and AI text analysis for the more precise observation of schema activation, integration, further investigate the cognitive interaction mechanism between the character and the reader. I use the three books as my reference, and I use the constructing identity through the narrative for the reference. That's all. Thank you.